Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. Welcome to our latest weekly podcast, Tru Heel Heat 112. On this edition of Tru Heel Heat, we will be discussing the latest wrestling news, including Week 65 of the Wednesday Night Wars between AEW Dynamite with Kenta making his AEW in-ring debut, as well as WWE NXT with the Go Home to Vengeance Day. Who is the best option for Edge and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania? We'll also be discussing controversy involving the latest WWE release, preview and predictions for Impact No Surrender and NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, and more. Of course, I am back once again with the princess of all the true heels, the beautiful, the lovely Miss Krssi Luv.
Hello, everybody. What's up? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. You know what that means.
It's recording day.
That is a phenomenal shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's from, what, damn, they're going to kill me. Oh, hell. Damn. They were on our show, too. I'll have it by the end of the show. Don't worry.
I just try to toss you the alley-oop.
No, I messed it up. I know.
See, you gotta let them know. You gotta give them the eye contact that you're gonna give them the alley-oop first.
I tossed it out of bounds.
We are back once again, returning to us the resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ.
Hell yeah, had to come back in fashion, got my mana back in the mail, had to make sure that, get that, woo, had to get that pop, and we ready to roll.
Yep.
And we got a very, very, very special guest with us, only the second professional wrestler to be on the Tru Heel Heat podcast, and it's one of my favorite interviews from Tru Heel's BTR from last year. We chatted about everything from her career to cosplay to New Japan Pro Wrestling and everything in between. She is a Twitch streamer, professional wrestler that you might have seen on AEW Dark or even last night on Dynamite in the front row, screaming our heart out to Judas, the one, the only Vert Vixen. Welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
And Stella!
Hey!
We knew that a dog was going to make an appearance at some point. When you live in a one-bedroom apartment with three of them, it just happens.
Don't forget about us.
Something that goes together. But Vert Vixen, for anyone that hasn't seen you before, please introduce yourself. Let them know where they can find you right off the bat.
Well, yes, hello. I am Vert Vixen. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Alicia Cosplay. Twitter is @Vert Vixen. Instagram is @Vert Vixen. And Twitch is twitch.tv/Vert Vixen. And maybe one day I'm going to figure out an actual solid schedule for streaming, because right now my life is hectic. But one day.
Amen.
Being a professional wrestler, it does that. It does that. And you've been busy lately, so we appreciate you taking the time out to join us.
Well, I appreciate y'all being willing to work with my schedule, so thank you.
We work around everything for people like yourself. And this edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by our good friends over at Powered 4 TV. You can check me out over there on their YouTube channel, Facebook, and their streaming site on Powered 4 SP3. And you can get a month 50% off with my promo code SP3. So check them out, Powered 4 TV. And a huge thanks, a congratulations to the entire Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel team, the community, because we have finally hit 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So thank you so much.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a salute right there.
everyone that supported us. We appreciate it. Thank you. And you know, Vert Vixen, our great interview yesterday. I mean, last year did a little bit of that. Bit a little bit of that. I just want to let you know.
Awesome. God, I am so sorry about my dogs.
It's okay.
That's him or she congratulating us. I understand. I speak a little bit of dog.
That was the boy.
So he's like yes 1,000 yes
Yes, yes.
He is just exactly. He is confirming and congratulating.
Appreciate him as well. And so we did our 1,000 giveaway video last year, so it will be happening. We will be sending some merchandise to a couple of our favorite subscribers, but we're gonna do it at random. So all you have to do is go over and follow us on the Twitter machine, as I like to call it, Twitter page, Tru Heel Heat. Inbox us telling us that you're a subscriber, and we're going to do at random for all of the DMs that we get. We're going to pick at random a few individuals to send that merchandise out to. So thank you so much for helping us achieve that mark. And if you're watching us for the first time, like this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. Of course, if you haven't already, push the subscribe button. You can also push the iCard to subscribe and the bell to stay notified. Press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. So we usually start things off with our Tru Heel roll call, where we shout out you, the supporters, our subscribers on our YouTube channel right here. Our top 3 conversation starters over on our Facebook page. Coming in at number 3 is Argino Bismo. Coming in at number 2 is Josh Mitchell. And coming in at number 1 is James Wims. He is the Nick Jackson for today. Our Tru Heels that we got to shout out: Brandon Falcon Berry, Marco Casey Macy, Philip Whitner, Notorious One Greg, and Elizabeth Stallion. And our YouTube subscriber highlight, James Dugan, commented on J News Japan episode 68. J News is my lifeline to current Japanese wrestling. Couldn't deal with the New Japan World Service at all. I always appreciate your coverage. It's easy. We can even translate how to deal with the New Japan World Service on here on Tru Heel Heat. But thank you for following J News Japan. Ryan Romano says, I cannot express in words what the whole independent wrestling for Thunder Rosa has mean to me. He said this on Tru Heel's BTR with Masha Slamovich. And Kwame Shafir on Tru Heel Heat 111 said this match should be the first ever all-black women's main event in pro wrestling history at WrestleMania 37, talking about Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. WWE should not mess up the build-up leading to this historic match. Anything less than them main eventing WrestleMania 37 is unacceptable. Kwame Shafir always with his powerful comments on Tru Heel Heat. But
you should send him a shirt first.
That's what you call a stance.
Right.
He always puts his flag in the ground always. Mm-hmm. But Vert Vixen, I know I've had the opportunity to chat with you last year, but my colleagues here have not. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to ask you any questions. But first, I do want to ask you a question, because you've been on AEW a lot since we chatted. And I like to say the Tru Heel's BTR, you know, every time I seem to chat with people, they seem to be on get to these bigger platforms. I'm not bragging or anything, but it's just the timing works out.
It's the SP3 magic touch, man. Just say it. Just say it. Just be like, SP3 blessed.
Right.
It doesn't work out that way. But you've been in the ring with a lot of the young talent for AEW's women's division, from Tay Conte to Red Velvet, who I've also discussed. Who is it that you kind of have seen up close and personal being on AEW that maybe some of the fans watching this podcast might not know about in AEW but should be paying attention to?
Oh man, if y'all don't know about Abaddon, y'all should be paying attention to Abaddon.
Oh my god,
she's incredible and I mean scary. I think being in the ring with her was one of the most frightening moments of my life. And she would not go down. So I highly recommend. I think most of the people know about Ty because she is just so incredible, and we all know her judo background, and she is just a goddess on all levels, and I love her. And then obviously Velvet, we talked about her. If y'all haven't Well, nobody's really seen Jade yet, but I really think Jade is one to watch. I really think Jade is one to watch. I think that, I mean, looking at her physique alone, you could tell that she has discipline beyond, like, the average person, you know? Like, to maintain that incredible physique and just look on point all the time, like, and I really think she's one to watch. And I know that there is a, big match coming up with here soon, so can't wait to see that. I mean, there's a lot of really, really talented women on AEW right now. Like, I am honestly super grateful. Oh, Layla Hirsch. If y'all don't know Layla, I mean, she just competed in the tournament against Thunder. Sadly, she did not move on, but that's okay. Thunder's amazing too, so that's fine. But if y'all don't know Layla, definitely check her out. The first
that was a pretty
time,
good match.
It was, yeah, for sure. And honestly, the first time I saw her was on an independent show here in Texas, and I was like blown away. Like, she's absolutely incredible, and she has an amateur wrestling background, and she's just like a complete badass in the ring. So I hope one day I can get in the ring with her myself, but until then, I definitely recommend y'all check her out too, because she's amazing. But really, the women's roster in AEW is just, it's phenomenal, and their women's division is just growing and really becoming one to trifle with, in my opinion. So
I agree, and present company included, the talented ladies that are performing on AEW right now is really getting up there, and they're getting more time as well, which we always like to see as fans. Krssi Luv, you have a question for Vert Vixen?
Yes. My first question is, you are, I'm sure, a fan first. So since you've been in the crowd and especially in the front row, who have you last fanned out for, and why?
I mean, look, okay, y'all know that I like New Japan. And it's really hard because it's like, we're all fans, right? But we're also, wrestlers. But, yeah, Kenta. Yeah, not this last Dynamite, but the one before that when he just first appeared, I flipped my shit. Like, I don't know if y'all can see it in the crowd, but I was literally like, oh my god, it's Kenta, he's here! I flipped out. And then, obviously, this last night's episode, I was able to see his work up close and personal and really see him, tear into everything. And it was just, that is a monster of a man in the best way. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, but that was the thing that I just, and like, not growing up watching wrestling as a kid, and my only live experiences of wrestling being independent shows, being able to be front row at Dynamite is like, I can't even explain to you how much more it has made me love this business and love wrestling, because there is nothing like being front row in front of those freaking stars and seeing their work and just hearing the crowd react to them and seeing their presence. It's just, it's so different than just watching it on TV. And it's definitely, once, hopefully COVID stuff calms down and we can have more live events and have more people there in the future at some point. Hopefully, who knows? COVID. I highly recommend, if anybody can, go to a WWE show, go to an AEW show, like, go see it live, because there is nothing like it. I wish I would have been able to go as a kid, because I would have just died.
Wow. It's a difference when you're a kid too, though. Yes.
I know.
And you didn't mean that as a pun, up close and personal, because they literally went to your side of the crowd to brawl in the crowd. So you got to see Kenta up close and personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, super up close and personal. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that he was gonna hit me. Yeah, he picked up Peter, right? Yeah, so when he picked up Peter to give him the go to sleep, I was like, I'll take your place.
It's like, I'll take it for you.
I'll take it. I'll die for this. It's fine. It was worth it.
Absolutely. JJ, you have a question for her?
Actually do. So with the plethora of talent that you guys have over there at the AEW women's roster. We on this show have been begging, advocating for you guys to get bigger programs, bigger stories, and it seems like they are finally listening. Like it's happening. I feel like they are getting so much more attention now, and I love the direction that they're going in with the tournament, with Abaddon, with Red Velvet getting a big marquee match coming up in a couple of weeks. Like it looks like they are giving them the attention that they finally deserve. How do you feel that once you're actively involved completely in their programs, who do you want to feud with?
Okay, I mean, one day, God, I hope that happens. I'm honestly, like, I won't lie to you, I'm very, very grateful. It is. I'm very, very grateful to be on Dark by itself. Like, the opportunities that I've been given is just phenomenal, and I am beyond grateful for it. I don't know where it's going to lead or if it's going to lead to anything, but it doesn't matter. Like, this is an amazing experience for me, and
it's in your resume.
It's huge, and I'm so grateful to AEW for allowing me to come in and really have this experience. You know, one day in the future, maybe if the stars were to align and I was actually going to be part of the roster, which would be amazing. God, I won't lie, I want to feud with Ty. I really want to feud with Ty. I feel like her and I could have a pretty vicious feud together. And I just recently started training in some MMA stuff, some jiu-jitsu and some judo and all that kind of stuff, just because I want to learn more about that stuff. I have a background in Taekwondo, but that is so different than, like, you know, the MMA style, the mixed martial arts. And I was just, I'd love to be able to get those skills really up there and then have, like, a legit incredible match with someone like her. And I feel like that would be amazing. I'd also really love to feud with Abaddon because I love Abaddon. Like, I love Abaddon's story and, like, how crazy she is and how it's like...
She scares me on TV. I can only imagine.
Try being this close with her and, like, trying and her not going down. Like, she just doesn't move. I was like, oh, I hit you with something good. And she's like, no. Not this time. I mean, right now I think those would be the two that I would, like... if I could possibly have a feud. And, like, since I have my gaming background and stuff, I'd love to have, like, a Jill Valentine-based freaking outfit and come out there, like, cosplay status against Abaddon.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll come out as Ash one time. I'll come out as Jill Valentine another time. Like, freaking maybe I'll come out as, what's-her-face, Alice, because Resident Evil movies, and I love freaking Mila. Like,
nice.
All of it. It would be so much fun. So that's, I think there's, like, a lot of possibilities, and I think it would be really, really cool. So maybe, and I know that AEW, like, I know that they've done some of that kind of cosplay stuff in the past with other people, like Kenny and the Young Bucks and Sheena, like, and so, like, I would love to be able to do that. So
I was definitely getting a lot of the Claire Redfield vibes out of you too. Like, that would be and just for you nerds, just so you know, we're talking about one of the baddest games ever, Resident Evil.
Gotta get up on it. I have an interesting question for you. You know, talking about the possibility of you joining AEW full time. We talked about Kenta. And, you know, his alliance with the Bullet Club in New Japan. Now we're seeing a whole Bullet Club in AEW. You mentioned Tay Conte with her relations to, you know, the Dark Order with Anna Jay and everything. What stable in AEW would Vert Vixen join?
Oh, God.
You guys come with the guns, yo.
The nerd in me goes straight to the Bullet Club. I won't lie to you. Like, that would be like, yeah, that, like that. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's just like, Kenny was one of the first ones I started watching. It's like, I can't, like, how can I not? The Dark Order is amazing. You know, Taz has his crew of freaking killers, basically, like, straight up killers. I'd love to see Layla with Taz's group, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, I'd love to see that.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. It would be amazing. And I love how Ty's working with the Dark Order now. Like, I love what they're doing with all of these different groups. But, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like,
I think you're elite enough.
I'm just saying the inner circle is missing a woman.
It's true. The inner circle is missing a woman, but Sammy just was like, "Nah, I'm done." So.
Yes, she set us up for the perfect segue to talk about.
Perfect! Look at that.
About what went down on the Wednesday Night Wars for Week 65. We usually tell what happened on both shows, and we decide what was the better show for the week. But we want to get your expert, point of view, because you were actually front row this AEW Dynamite. But I'll break down what happened on both shows. Of course, you got the ratings, which you can see right here on the screen. The magic of editing. And AEW Dynamite this week had Kenny Omega and Kenta defeat Jon Moxley and Lance Archer in an amazing Falls Count Anywhere lights out main event with the help of the Good Brothers, the entire Bullet Club from New Japan and AEW working together. In the final. Chris Jericho and MJF defeated the Acclaimed in a solid tag team offer, but the real story of the night was Sammy Guevara, as MJF tried to manipulate him into basically saying that he hates Chris Jericho, which winded up with Sammy striking MJF in the ribs, which Max comically oversold in his matchup with the Acclaim. And then following the match, Sammy announced that he was no longer in the inner circle and he left, said that he needs to take some time off. Darby Allin defeated Joey Janela in a very fun opener to successfully defend the TNT championship, but was later dragged. Talking about Team Taz being killers, this man was dragged in a parking lot by the members of Team Taz. Thunder Rosa defeated Layla Hirsch in a very physical, good match to advance in the AEW Women's World Title Eliminator Tournament. And it was also announced the Japanese matches of the tournament will take place on YouTube on Monday due to travel restrictions preventing TNT production to go to Japan. Hangman Page proved to be smarter than the average drunk cowboy, pulling the okie doke on Matt Hardy as he tried to sign him as a client, and Lee Johnson got his first AEW win, teaming with Cody over Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. WWE NXT had Grizzled Young Vets defeat Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, as well as MSK defeating Legado del Fantasma to set up the finals for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We had Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defeat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell to face Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez to advance to the finals of the Women's Dusty Cup on Sunday. Kushida defeated Austin Theory via disqualification as Johnny Gargano tried to get out of the match by having a broken arm, which forced him into
the whole night.
Yes. And then we also got the final hype for TakeOver Vengeance Day. So like I said, I want to get your perspective, Vert Vixen, on this AEW Dynamite episode. What stood out the most to you on this episode, and what match would you say everyone needs to go out of their way? If they're only going to dedicate one match to Dynamite, what's the one match they need to see?
I mean, my answer is, I won't lie, it's the same for both questions. And it's really because a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was there and experienced it like no other. Like, I thought I never would, and it's the main event. Like, sorry, I have to. And I'm a sucker for matches like that. Like, it's art in its own way, and it's just like, let's just use whatever we have around us and try to kill each other, and I love it. And so he grabbed a potato, potato. I was like, what? And then obviously, like I said, to watch the people that I really admire up close and personal, like hitting each other with their most infamous moves, I was like, oh god. And so I mean, look, I would definitely have to say the main event. That being said, it's definitely an amazing episode, and I think all the matches are worth watching. But that was the one that just stood out the most to me. And I really need to go and watch that Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Candice LeRae. Like, I need to go watch the match in Indy because they're all amazing. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, oh, I gotta add that to my list. I need to go look. And then you're like, Kushida, and I'm like, Kushida! So I definitely need to go, since I've already seen AEW, I need to go check out NXT. Because all wrestling is amazing.
That's why we love.
That is the best answer ever.
Yes, it is. It really is, though.
That's sort of our mantra here on Tru Heel Heat. We watch everything, and we
Literally
talk about everything. So
why not? The beauty of today is that there's so much wrestling. Like I can't keep up anymore. It's like, you know, we're trying now. I'm trying to watch Stardom, and then like I told you, I'm backed up on New Japan. I'm backed up on NXT. I need to go watch more NXT. Like the most I've seen right now is Dynamite because a lot of the times I've been there, you know. So it's like, but it's all just so good. I don't know why you wouldn't just watch everything you can. Just wrestling.
Yeah, it's like that's the point of professional wrestling. You don't have to be a prisoner to one company. You can watch whatever you want to watch. You can have a different taste for every day of the week. That's the great thing about wrestling.
And they're all producing such incredible content. Like this.
Yeah.
It's true. So, JJ, I won't ask you what was the better show this week. All I will ask you, tell us what was your one moment of the night from either show and your match of the night from either show.
I'm literally, me and Vixen is gonna sound the exact same. Like that main event, the main event sequence in the match, and it was. I watched it twice. Right? Like I watched it twice. Like it's literally probably just replaying on the TV screen for me right now. I had so much fun watching this, and as you guys, they probably know, SP and Krssi knows how I've used a lot of derogatory language when it comes to Kenta. and he has his newest New Japan stint has me on a different feeling for him. He has been flat out amazing. Like he has been amazing, and God, he came to work yesterday. He didn't come in as a special guest. Like he came to work, and my God, Lance Archer is like damn near 300 pounds doing springboard backflips, ropes, like come on, like. Yeah. Then you had the Good Brothers involved. You have basically multiple referees. Like, why you got so many referees in this match? Like, it was so much happening. I was like, yo, this is so fun. Like, as Vixen said, like you can imagine just being in that atmosphere. Like AEW puts on a show with all the circumstances that we are dealing with. It feels like a true wrestling show. Like it feels like it's an event that you go to. That feeling that you get when you go to these live shows, when you remember all these little crazy spots, when you remember singing Juice to the top of your lungs and knowing that your throat's gonna hurt. How many times have we been in arenas with no voice?
Yes.
And AEW is doing that, and they are doing that to me better than any organization that is in North America right now, and they're just on a different plateau right now. And this is not knocking the other like NXT did put on a solid show last night. It was a very good show last night. But when I mean like AEW is literally, it's kind of like AEW for me is like they're in their attitude era of booking right now. Like it is just, they are so damn good right now. Like it is, it's them and everybody else right now to me.
Yeah.
I gotta agree, like especially the main event, that felt like the Attitude Era, and it also feels like the Attitude Era because everybody has something going on, everybody has a story, and that's what I love about AEW every week. Miss Krssi Luv, what was your match of the night and moment or story of the night from either show?
I hate to be repetitive like everybody else. I think for NXT, mine were the women, which was Ember and Shanti. That was, you have to go back and watch that match, just to let you know. But if I have to take that from NXT, that's what I'm going to take from it. But the winner and the match is the ending of AEW. It's just like, hands down, like they are just putting on excellent wrestling. They are just giving us stories, and like you said, everyone had a story. Everything is happening, and it's just all thrown together perfectly. They are blending these brands all together in a perfect way. not to like we have three different brands together at once
Yep.
and one night
Well,
in a
4
ring.
if you count NWA. Yeah.
Yes, 4.
That's
Yes.
right, NWA.
Saying, cause you got Thunder Rosa over there holding it down. Like
NWA, yep.
So
it's
it's like excellent wrestling at its finest right now. Like it is like Attitude Era is wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
what I got.
just
You
to guys,
guys-
I got into a point where I have nothing bad to say about the entire program right now. Like it's like every spot there's like some like come on, like we didn't even talk heavy about Darby Allin getting dragged through the arena in a body bag. Like come on, like MJF perpetrating, literally taking out his cell phone on purpose to record Sammy Guevara saying I hate. Like they got so much going on. It's like you gotta watch it maybe 1.5 times to register everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like they reward you for paying attention to different things. Like a lot of people have been talking about since last night the Lee Johnson win and his promo.
Yeah.
Promo where he specifically named every member of the Rhodes family, Arn Anderson, and didn't even mention his own trainer, QT Marshall. And QT Marshall kind of had the face like he was upset. And if you watched it one time, you probably wouldn't have noticed it. It's when you go back, you're like, oh, okay, this is the start of a whole story right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the beautiful thing about Dynamite. Like their stories are so intriguing. Like the Sammy Guevara Inner Circle storyline. I feel like that kind of stood out on Dynamite, as well as Hangman Page and his whole saga with Matt Hardy,
about that.
and the unrequited love that he has for Dark Order. That moment, if you've never had that moment in your life where you see someone you're still in love with, you're still in like with, you still got a crush on, but you can't be with them right now. Like that was just it's such episodic television every single week, and that's why I enjoy Dynamite. My match of the night, yeah, you guys have said it so much. Like it's the main event. The main event is just going to be remembered for years to come. A potato. We got potato puns on Dynamite. I was
great.
So satisfied. I was so satisfied with potato puns.
Can I be one of Omega's dances with the broom? I want to do that whole routine. I got to learn how to do it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I love it. I think it's freaking amazing.
I love
And it's ridiculous at this exact. It's so ridiculous, but
amazing.
so good.
Yeah.
And us here, we're all hardcore fans. I like to get perspective of casual fans. So I asked JJ knows him, my old roommate G. I asked him to watch Dynamite, and he absolutely loved the Omega entrance. He was like, yo, they just named his entire accomplishments. He was like, I haven't watched.
Oh yeah, that's so great.
I haven't watched months, and I know everything about Omega now.
They said he's
So
probably
talented Omega, right?
like the fact that he said he had his greatest WTF moment in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, come on! Like they just know how to hit every type of fan. And like, it's great. It's great.
With the golf segment, I'm literally.
Oh, that was so good.
I'm literally convinced that Kenny Omega came up with this character while watching The Last Dance on Netflix. Because he's literally becoming the Michael Jordan of professional wrestling before he's always been one of the greatest, but now he's got the over-the-top entrance with the North Carolina. He's playing golf on the day of a big game day like Michael Jordan, and he's cheating like Michael Jordan. This is brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Brilliant.
NXT, it was a really good show. They did really good hype for Vengeance Day. I really enjoyed the main event with Grizzled Young Veterans versus Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, as well as MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. So both shows delivered on Wednesday nights. But
I think they did. I think they weren't. They were both solid shows. It's, just one was,
finals, by the way. Grizzled Young Veterans and MSK.
Yes.
All that.
Yes. You called it. Yep.
I always got to brag. But yes. Without us asking the question of what was the better show, I think you can figure out what we all thought was the better show this week.
We didn't have to ask. Like everyone's answers were all the same.
And again, it's like it's not knocking the fact that NXT is a bad show. Like NXT has not been a bad show. NXT has actually And
Been
I
solid, yeah.
we've said this maybe like 3 weeks in a row that NXT has not been a bad show. It's just that AEW has just been on a completely different plateau of wrestling deliverance. Like they're just different. It's just different right now. And what we're getting a live program that is just weekly episodic television. Pick a story, just pick it.
And it's great to watch, and we are
guys,
the winners in this.
And guys,
Oh,
and it's
exactly.
like and the fact that we've been doing all this bitching, moaning, and complaining about getting the women props on the show, and we didn't even mention the women on Dynamite. Like, they have so much going on. It's like, wow, like as you know that the legit. I only saw her for the second time in my life, so it was legit. Legit, she put on a damn good performance against Thunder Rosa. That was a damn good match. And I was like, that's one of the footnotes that we're missing because so much damn stuff happened.
So much. It is hard to write down like the details for a Dynamite episode. It's literally like almost a page long sometimes because so much happens on these shows. But we asked this question last week, so me and Krssi Luv have answered it. But I'm gonna give Vert Vixen and Top Guy JJ the opportunity because Vert Vixen was actually there, so she felt in the back of her neck the draft from the Forbidden Door breaking open when Kenta appeared on AEW Dynamite. So, AEW New Japan partnership is the talk of the town. We even named Tru Heel Heat 111. The Forbidden Door is open. So I'm going to ask you guys, what is the one match AEW versus New Japan that you want to see the most? I'm going to give Vixen an opportunity to think about it. Top Guy JJ, I'm going to put you on the spot in the hot chair. Your AEW New Japan Dream Match. We talked about it last week. We've heard Kenny Omega versus Okada. We heard Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi from John. Krssi Luv came out of nowhere with Darby Allin versus was it Kota Ibushi versus MJF. She was like, she just went left field with hers, and I love stuff like that. So everybody might have something different, but Top Guy JJ, what is your dream match, AEW versus New Japan?
Yo, the Okada Omega is so easy, but it's like we've seen this dream match happen a number of times already, and how can they get better than what they've delivered? So if I'm gonna go with somebody from there, give me Jay White versus Kenny Omega. Like, give me. I want to breathe with the Switchblade versus this jerk in Kenny Omega. I want to see who's the bigger asshole. Like, that will be those promos. Those promos will be noteworthy for a lifetime. Give me Kenny Omega versus the Switchblade. That would be my first on the spot, put me on the spot choice.
That's a great choice based on their history. Of course, it was Jay White that beat Kenny Omega for the IWGP US Heavyweight title. Omega's never beaten Jay White. He actually invited him into the Bullet Club, which Jay White turned down, and then 8 months later joined the Bullet Club and became its leader. So, funny enough, how you could turn that all around and bring it into the current and the present, and it would make such a great match. Vert Vixen, you're on the hot spot now. Your AEW versus New Japan dream match.
Y'all, it's Minoru Suzuki either versus Lance Archer or Darby Allin. And there's
why you want to do that to Darby Allin?
I can take it, but like,
Darby Allin ain't even 30 yet, boo.
He can handle Suzuki. I think he can handle it. I think he can handle Minoru. I think he can. Just saying.
Minoru's a killer.
I know. That's why I want to see him either. But my first instinct was Lance because of just the sheer size and the sheer athleticism, and I think that they could have a tremendous, just killer. Minoru Suzuki's a monster. So. But I definitely want to see Minoru Suzuki in general on AEW, so let's make that happen.
I'm with you.
Please.
I want to see you sing that theme.
Yeah, oh God, I love that
And you
theme.
know what's
Actually, Adam plays that theme all the time because it's
Yeah.
so amazing. Like, it's an amazing theme. Yeah, Kota Ibushi for sure because Kota Ibushi, Okada for sure, and then the other one I really wanted to see was Naito. And then there's Evil too. That just like I don't know what to do. There's too much, but I have to go with Minoru, and probably Lance. But Minoru, I just want him on AEW in general. That's
Yeah.
That's
He's
a great
scary.
one.
Why don't we put Minoru versus Avatar?
I want to see freaking Hiromu Takahashi versus Pac. Like, there's just too many combinations. I'm just curious to know what you guys pick because there's just too many.
I would love to see Will Ospreay versus Rey Fenix. I feel like that would just be insane and out of this world. My Minoru Suzuki dream match is Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston. I just want to see those two guys beat the crap out of each other, and I would enjoy that so much. So much. Krssi Luv, you got any other ones?
What's your guy that wore the crazy jacket? You had a Rumble. Him probably. What's the guy that's in Taz's group? He's a real skinny one.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks. I want to see those two guys together.
I like how you say he's skinny. Ricky's built.
I mean, he is good, but compared to all the other guys around him,
she's seeing it because she's seeing Ricky in person. So she's like, this dude is ripped.
And he stands next to all the other guys. He's like a real small guy. So those guys are big and swollen. They probably could throw me across the room, but still, nevertheless,
I think Ricky probably could too.
Right, Ricky probably would throw me across the room.
Look, in her defense, Will Hobbs is a monster. So
And SP, you know who I would love to throw in your match and make it a triple threat? You throw Rich Swann. That shit is gonna be crazy. It would Rich Swann, Will Ospreay, and Phoenix.
Wow.
That would be dope. That would be all over the place and a lot of pipeline for sure.
We can do this all day.
Exactly. I was like, that's the forbidden question: is how many matches can we pull up? That'll be a whole show.
That's a whole show in itself.
That's a whole podcast within itself. But we also, what we miss, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the New Beginning in Hiroshima, nights 1 and 2 went down over this week. We had Kota Ibushi defeating Sanada to successfully defend the IWGP Dual Gold. And then Tetsuya Naito challenged Ibushi for the IC title at Castle Attack at the end of this month on February 27th and 28th. So my question to you guys is, do you believe that New Japan should separate the IWGP heavyweight and Intercontinental titles? And will they, with Naito winning the title at Castle Attack? Let's start with you, Top Guy JJ. I know you've had your heated opinions on this in the past.
Absolutely, they need to separate these titles. The IC Championship in New Japan is a major title, and it is just being partnered with the big guy. So right now, that title is basically being defended with, and that is its own standard right there. That title, that damn title is fucking beautiful. That title is beautiful, first of all, and then you need to get that high level of prestige back in it. Now, it's just funny that they're getting the U.S. title back its relevancy at the same time they're promoting this type of match. So it kind of, New Japan just knows how to mess your head up, man. They just know how to mess your head up because they want you to think that these titles are going to potentially separate, but knowing that they got the U.S. title coming back into play, it's like, here, pick it. You wanted it, now pick it. But yes, I want that IC title removed from being basically the sidekick to the IWGP heavyweight title.
That's not the sidekick.
It is the sidekick title.
No, it's not.
They look good together. They look good together.
They look perfect
their own
together.
prestige. They need their own prestige.
All right, Vert Vixen, what's your opinion? You're a New Japan fan. Do you want to see the dual goals separated?
I kind of do. I won't lie. Like I agree with everything that Jay was saying. That it deserves its own. They deserve their own. Like you can't. I don't know. I honestly disagree with. I was listening and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that title is so damn beautiful.
It really is. It really is. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that I agree.
Thank you.
There we go.
Much
He
appreciated.
doesn't hear that a lot, so thank you for that, Miss Krssi.
Yeah, I hear it episodes later when I'm correct when it foresees itself.
Miss Krssi.
It's but so long you can keep the things together. It's like, okay, you have them together. Now what? How long are we going to keep this story going? So you have to eventually separate the two. Like you can't have two belts for so long. It's like it's going to get, okay, you got two belts. Yeah. Okay, you got two belts. Yeah. It's nothing. It's not fun anymore. Like it's okay, you did it already. You got the two belts now. Now what? So yeah, you definitely need to have it separate and have two different stories because, like you said, the belt is beautiful. It's one of the best looking belts we have around right now. So it definitely should be separated.
I'm gonna be the different one.
I'm
gonna be the oddball. Yes. I think they should keep them together. They've worked this hard over a year solidifying this. This has elevated the never open weight championship to main event status with Shingo Takagi's reign going into Hiroshi Tanahashi's reign now. It's elevated the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title to semi-main event status at Wrestle Kingdom, which it wouldn't if the Intercontinental title was separate. And it's elevated the U.S. title to now it's the heavyweight gold on the U.S. side. So I feel like the dual gold have helped out all the other titles in New Japan, which me myself, I've gone long on record and said they have way too many titles. So I like the dual gold. So I that's why I will have to say I like them together.
So I have an AEW superstar and I have Miss Krssi Luv on my side. So you're definitely wrong.
It's not about being
You're
wrong.
definitely wrong.
It's all about having the information to form an opinion and stand by your opinion, sir.
Yeah, stick to your guns, sir. Stick to your guns, even though they're wrong, even though they shoot blanks.
I know you know everything about being wrong because you're wrong like 90% of the time on here. It's okay. Hiromu Takahashi also on night one of New Beginning in Hiroshima. He defeated Sho in a great main event. El Phantasmo attacked after the match, leading to challenge from ELP and Ishimori at the IWGP Junior Tag titles for Hiromu and Bushi, and ELP challenged Hiromu for the Junior title. We had Chaos defeat Jay White and GOD to successfully defend the never openweight six-man tag team titles, with Yoshihashi getting a pin on Tonga Loa, setting up Hashi and Goto versus GOD for the IWGP heavyweight tag team titles. And we also had GOD defend those titles against Dangerous Tekkers and win by disqualification after Taishi went crazy with the Iron Figures, which he retrieved back from the one and only Tama Tonga. And over on SmackDown, on the Land of the Blue, we had Roman Reigns demand Edge to acknowledge it as the main event of WrestleMania, and he got stunned by Kevin Owens for his troubles. We also had Big E defeat Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn in a triple threat match for the IC title. But I have an interesting question. Edge won the Royal Rumble. He's been on all three shows. He's kind of teased going after all the titles. I want to go around the room. Who do you guys think Edge should verse at WrestleMania? Who is the best option for Edge to verse at WrestleMania? Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns? Because I'm not going to play those games with WWE and even acknowledge Finn Balor as a choice, because Edge ain't picking no Finn Balor. I'm sorry. I love Finn just like the rest of everybody, but Edge is not picking Finn Balor. So is it going to be Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns? We'll start with you, Vert Vixen.
What if I say Prince Devitt? Is that
you found the secret answer.
Wild card.
Oh God. I've really been kind of loving what Roman Reigns has been doing recently with this whole tribal leader. Like, I'm down. I'm down with it. I want to see Roman versus Edge. I think that would be an amazing match.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Battle of the Spears.
That's the Battle of the Spears. Yeah.
I am with it. Top Guy JJ.
I was 1,000% sold on Edge going for the WWE title because he thought about the title that he never lost.
Mm-hmm.
But after the level of disrespect that Roman Reigns has received, our tribal chief, how dare you show up on 2 shows prior to meeting the head of the table? How dare you have 2 other conversations prior to this? Roman Reigns felt disrespected, and so did I. that was actually disrespectful. So this has just got big money written all over it. Like there's something that each WrestleMania needs to have a special main event. I don't think that the WWE has Brock Lesnar locked to come back in at all. So they gotta probably go with a different card. I love the idea of Edge going after the title that he never had, which is the Universal title. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, SP3 is kind of Edge is gonna come back after being gone for 10 years to chase the NXT title on Wednesdays. I'm sorry, he's not doing it. He ain't doing it. He ain't coming back for that long to chase a title with a big ass X on it. Sorry, not doing it. He is going after the blue title, and that is what I'm staying with. I love the idea of Roman Reigns and just the storyline that the tension that they had already just felt amazing.
Yep.
Yes, Miss Krssi Luv.
So last week I was not convinced on who, and then SP of course did the same thing again, asked the same question, and then he comes on SmackDown and he disrespect the hell out of Roman Reigns. I was like, okay, I'm glued to it. I'm here. I'm like this. I'm like, this is so good. Like Roman is like, how dare you? Like Paul, go handle, like go get him now. And he's like, oh, he's not here. He's not here. Oh, we got problems. We got problems. And I was like glued to it, like, oh, this is good. Like this is real good. And then you have Kevin Owens come in. Like it's still like you just like Kevin Owens will not leave me alone. It's so good.
Like, I don't like to be played with.
Right.
He's like a roach that Roman just can't kill, apparently.
So it's like okay, I definitely can. You can't see him with Drew. Drew is gonna be with someone else. It's not gonna be Drew with WrestleMania this year. Drew had his WrestleMania already, so we definitely going to see him and Edge like go ahead, like you said, this battle of the spears is gonna be a good one. I'm hoping that it's gonna be they'll close out one night and then have the girls close out the other night.
I hope so. I hope that the girls get a main event too.
Yes,
I am with you.
They have to.
2 nights, they got to get one of them.
Yeah.
That's going to lead to my next question for everybody. But the one thing I do want to tell Vert Vixen and Top Guy JJ, I put my booking hat on Tru Heel Heat 111, what Krssi Luv was talking about. And I said the whole Roman character is all about family.
Yep.
Well, Edge has family on the WWE roster now.
Yep.
He has his former brother, his best friend, Christian, who Roman and Jay can attack backstage and really get Edge to choose the rightful tribal chief as the main event of WrestleMania. Or they can even make a visit themselves to Wednesday night and see and harass Edge's wife on commentary on NXT.
Ooh,
there's so many different ways.
That one last week.
There's so many different ways they could play with the whole character, and that's why I like Edge and Roman. So I agree with all of you.
The only question is, how do you go from brothers to best friends?
Right.
Hey, I mean,
I'm just saying, like, you my brother. That's life, and I'm just saying, like, Undertaker can't call Kane his best friend.
We never even got the real explanation for Devon and Bubba Ray, so at least we got the truth on Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
Hello.
You know, at least you see, sometimes kayfabe's gotta stay kayfabe.
Hey, to each his own. But I know. Big Daddy Dudley got around. Over on Raw, we had Shane McMahon return, and Adam Pearce announced Drew McIntyre will defend the WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber against Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles, The Miz, and Sheamus. Lana defeated Nia Jax in a tables match, which caused Nia Jax to break Twitter with her saying, "Ow! My hole!" Jesus. Yes.
Come get your girl.
It was trending worldwide, ladies and gentlemen.
It really was.
But outside of that, we had the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Bianca Belair, show up on the show, and he's going after Asuka. So I'm going to ask you guys the same question as far as Bianca Belair. Who should she verse at WrestleMania? So we'll choose between the Raw Women's Champion Asuka or the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. So let's start with Miss Krssi Luv.
WrestleMania is going to be the year of the the year of the blue brand. It's going to be all about the blue brand. It makes no sense for Bianca to go to Raw. No, it's Asuka is really not even in an accurate story right now. I don't know where they're going to put her. I'm sure she will have a match at WrestleMania, but it's going to be the year of blue, and blue is where the two all these stars are going to be. They're going to be on SmackDown, so she's already on SmackDown. It makes more sense for her to go against Sasha.
Great.
That is just it's just what it is. I don't see, like, they've already worked together in a tag team. Like, it makes more sense. The story is more built. They've already, like, Bianca has already, like, is a fan of hers, so it can be played in so many different ways. So I mean, she has to go see Asuka. Duh. What's next? She's gonna go see Io Shirai. Is she gonna she's gonna show up at Vengeance? Probably not. No. So we're gonna have her go against Sasha, and that's gonna be closed out for one of the nights.
All right, that is fair. Vert Vixen, who do you think, Sasha or Asuka?
As much as I love Asuka, and as much as I think that would be a killer match between Bianca and Asuka, I know that Bianca and Sasha would also have a killer match, and it would be amazing to see those two women headline a WrestleMania. Like, it's another milestone that needs to be hit, and it would be. Both those women are incredible athletes. They work incredibly hard. I mean, storylines and stuff aside, and Asuka works incredibly hard as well. It's there's something special about seeing Bianca and Sasha in that ring versus each other again, and it kind of gives me the Sasha Bailey vibes from NXT TakeOver, and it's like, I want to see that, I want to see that.
Yes,
I 100% agree with that. Top guy JJ.
Yo, you see, you know what? You ladies are so nice. You guys are so nice. Like, why the hell are you asking this question, SP? Like, why are you asking this? Like, this is the most we need Bianca and Sasha at Mania. We've been preaching this for the last half hour that they're gonna probably main event one of the nights, and then you're gonna ask who should.
You only said that.
No knock to Asuka. This is no knock to Asuka at all because Asuka with whoever she has the match with. But if Bianca picks anybody other than Sasha, the WWE is just jerking our chain. Like that's literally it. Like this. There's sometimes that things only happens once in a lifetime. This is it. You pull the trigger. You make it happen. This is the main event for one of the two nights. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. They already having interactions and stories together. Bianca just had a freaking interview on Raw, basically. Okay, she's not really that interested in the Raw title. NXT, she's never been there, so she's not gonna go do that with her Royal Rumble victory. She's not gonna go after that title. You got to come after the boss. You got to come after the blueprint. And then Sasha is having a legit title run. Like, she's defended her title numerous times. She looks like the best in the business. Like, this is easy. This is easy.
All right, so I'm going to agree with you guys. Yes, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, these two. And then the final two things, what we missed, Private Party and Beer Guns, when Private Party cost the Beer Guns their Impact Tag Team title match on Impact Wrestling this week against the Good Brothers, leading to the No Surrender title match becoming a three-way. And MLW Fusion had Leo Rush defeat Laredo Kid to win the AAA Cruiserweight title to unified with the MLW Middleweight Championship. So that is all for what we missed, and that is all with Vert Vixen. Thank you so much. This has been such a great episode, such a great guest to have along with us. You were excellent, so much insight, and being there in person at AEW excellent, and we're gonna wish you the best in everything you're doing in the future. And
Yes.
AEW, if you're watching, please sign this woman right here because she is so talented and has such
Aw.
great energy that feeds off to everyone that sees her.
The
But
vibe, the vibes
please,
is genuine, and
Yes.
and somehow the dog got to come in there too.
Always. I don't know how I'll fit it. I'll fit it in somehow. Maybe I'll dress them all up in cosplay and be like, it's a 4-way with me and my dog.
Ooh,
There's
nice.
got to be a segment in there with a dog at some point. At least a segment. She got to have a
Right.
segment.
Right.
fatal 4-way for sure. But please, Vert, please tell them where they can find you on social media once again, or any independent shows you got coming up.
God, what do I have? Oh, the one independent show I have coming up that's soon is I'm actually facing Masha Slamovich at New Texas. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. Oh, God, February 27th, I think it is. And then, yeah, you can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Alicia Cosplay. Twitter is @VertVixen. Instagram is @VertVixen. And Twitch, start streaming again one of these days. It's twitch.tv/VertVixen. So make sure you follow so you're ready when I get my shit together. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Nah, thank you so much for joining us, and please go out of your way to follow Vert Vixen and follow along on her journey. And when we see her next on AEW Dark and on any of the independent shows near you.
Yes.
Man, that looks like a badass jacket behind you too.
What? This? Oh yeah, it's my Star-Lord jacket.
There you go. She's got a Star-Lord jacket. This is why she's the coolest.
Yeah. I'll be wearing it. This is my new Dynamite jacket until it warms up.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, we got to move into our top news story in this week. Miss Krssi Luv, we talked about the release of Lars Sullivan last week, and now we have another release which has some controversy around it. And it is the controversy concerning the release of Steve Cutler. Former WWE superstar Steve Cutler was released by WWE last week. It was rumored that Cutler contracted the COVID-19 virus after attending a New Year's Eve party, which made Vince McMahon angry, and there was allegedly heat on Cutler for this. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained how Cutler being cut has affected other WWE talent still signed to the roster, including Murphy and Wesley Blake. Previously in December, Cutler and Wesley Blake returned to WWE TV as the two Knights of the Lone Wolf, assisting King Corbin. According to Meltzer, Cutler and Blake were going to be booked again on TV as the Knights of the Lone Wolf, but Cutler tested positive for COVID-19 and put a stop to that. As a result, WWE opted against going back to that angle. Additionally, King Corbin losing his nights also caused Murphy to lose a spot on TV. The plan was to have King Corbin, Cutler, and Blake face Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and Murphy, who recently aligned with the Mysterio family and was romantically paired up with Aaliyah Mysterio on screen. However, now that the Knights are off TV and Cutler was fired, Murphy apparently no longer has a role in this feud. Fightful Select reports that there was heat on Cutler from Vince McMahon after the SmackDown roster member contracted COVID-19 in early January. Apparently, Cutler and girlfriend Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo were seen on social media at the aforementioned New Year's Eve party without a mask on, and that's alleged. We haven't seen any proof yet. Both Cutler and Wesley Blake were actively trying to return to television, but it didn't happen. Fightful also notes that the move was WWE's decision and that Cutler was at the Performance Center as he was offering to bump for the PC's big man class. Cutler was reportedly a welcome and familiar face there and well liked. Finally, it was noted from WWE the door was open on a return later down the road. Cutler tweeted out in response to his release, "Unfortunately, today I was released. It was shocking to say the least, but I was excited about the future and all the possibilities in front of me. Thanks for your continued support. 90 days, ... The countdown begins."
Damn.
So, Krssi Luv, what are your thoughts on Cutler being released for testing positive for COVID-19, allegedly?
Right. They didn't cut anyone else because they had COVID, did they?
Nope.
Allegedly. So I can understand why he's upset. and why he's being treated this way. It's let him just get to go home, treat himself, and make sure that he's okay, and give him his job back. I guess. Like, I mean, listen, it can happen to anybody. You can be walking down the street and contract it from someone. It can happen. So that's how these strands are. No one knows how and where and what is giving everyone, and then it could be, and then their trace, how they trace it is like it could just be anyone. Like, you could get tested, okay, yes, but it can happen anywhere. You can be at the gym. It's all these places that you don't know where it can happen at.
Yeah.
So for him, I mean, I'm sure he's probably happy and like, you know what, maybe this was not the right place. So he's looking at it as a blessing in disguise. Maybe that's probably why he's being positive. Who knows? But I mean, if Vince jumped down his throat and it's not necessary, because a lot of people that were there had COVID, and hasn't been reported that you jumped down their throats. So it's like, I think it's just, it's we're in a time where it's just like, it's just unfortunate for everyone, and just like, people need their jobs. Everyone is unemployed, so I guess he's waiting for his 90 days. Like, can he get unemployment now though? That's the question.
No, not until after the 90 days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So basically, you're saying Vince McMahon is not keeping the same energy.
No, he's not. He's definitely not. He never does, though. Are we surprised? No, not really.
No. Top Guy JJ.
He does this fuckboy shit all the time. So
yeah, that's what he's known for. Fuckboy Vince.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yes, I love that name. Yep.
Top Guy JJ, how do you feel wrestlers are handling public perception during this pandemic? Because this whole situation with the alleged photos of Cutler and Peraza being at a New Year's Eve party without masks on comes off the heels of many wrestlers kind of being on social media without masks on their New Year's Eve parties, as well as recently Casey Canizaro of NXT was at a lounge without masks on in a group of people drinking drinks after she had just recently did a public service announcement about wearing masks in public. So how do you think wrestlers are handling this whole public perception?
The wrestlers are being stupid. I mean, that's just first and foremost. Like, the fact that I'm just saying, anybody that is not in a safe setting, that has a contagious environment, clearly you've been living under a rock for the past 11 months. Like, there's just something just missing with you not getting the seriousness of how easily you can catch this. It's not a matter of can you survive it, because a lot more people have been surviving it as of late. It's just how easy it is to catch. Mm-hmm. You can catch this as quick as a cold. And the fact that you're not taking those precautions and you're putting other people in jeopardy, and this has the heaviest protocols in U.S. history when it comes to what people have to do when it comes to guidelines, cleaning, safety, etc., etc. They're not handling it well, because they think that it's like kind of one of those, you think that it's just going to go away. No, the fuck it's not. We have to make it go away. Like, we have to get vaccinated. We have to do the due diligence to get this done. And we have to keep doing the same thing we've been doing for the past 11 months, which clearly there has been times during holidays, which it has not worked because the surges have been real. The numbers have been going up. So it's like, are y'all not paying attention to the same thing that we're paying attention to when you're in a public environment? You're about to get into physical contact with other people, literally get into physical contact with other people, and you're not being as careful as possible. That's kind of like the NFL not being careful of football and and engage themselves with 22 other guys. That is going to have to make sure that the other 21. I'm anticipating that the other 21 guys that I'm playing with and against is doing the same thing that I'm doing. So if you're not doing that, you're disrespecting my craft. You're disrespecting probably my family too. I'm not even going to get into the WWE shit, because they just had their whole fucking champion on there catching COVID, and he didn't get released. Their champion was on there, and he was gone for 2 weeks of their programming. Yeah. But Steve Cutler gets cut for catching it. Like, whatever. But when it comes to the handling of it, no, they're not handling it well at all. At all. They're handling it like shit.
So, what do you guys think is next for Wesley Blake? Because out of all these situations which has kind of surrounded the Forgotten Sons in the past few months, from Jackson Riker putting his statements on social media, which caused the Forgotten Sons to be taken off of TV in the first place, to now Steve Cutler contracting COVID-19, getting himself released, and taking Wesley Blake Black off of TV after just recently being on TV for 2-3 weeks. He's already off TV again. What do you think is next for Wesley Blake? Do you could you see him eventually being a part of the next like mass releases, or do you see them finding some type of role for this former NXT Tag Team Champion, Top Guy JJ?
Hold him down, throw him in a PC, and repackage him completely. Like, he just needs to be another character. Like, he needs to, because honestly, like, I really don't even know who the fuck this Wesley guy is. So if he comes out as like a complete, if he comes out with a different look, he comes out as a different character, he comes out looking like a badass, or he comes out whatever persona that they give him, if it works, I won't even know what the Forgotten Sons were. So just hold him down, repackage him, send him back out. But do not send him back out. They need to keep him off TV for a while, repackage him, make sure that they get it right, and then send him back out.
Miss Krssi Luv?
I kind of like that idea. I don't think they should release him. Definitely hold him down. You can play the whole story. I mean, are we going to have King of the Ring this year, or King Corbin's going to be King Corbin for like ever? Like, we can change his name.
We probably won't know until after WrestleMania.
We didn't have King of the Ring last year.
Yeah, we won't know until after WrestleMania.
Okay, well, because he's still King Corbin, so I mean,
he's been King Corbin for 2 years now.
Yeah, he's been there for like 2 years now. I mean, I wouldn't let him go. I'd keep him, like, let him go home, let him, do what he has to do, be off TV. I wouldn't get rid of him. I'm sure they can find something for him. Even if you have to put him in a PC and then like bring him back and then put him in another angle, I don't think you should release him right away. Give him at least give him the chances.
Yeah. Wrestlers get repackaged all the time. They get repackaged all the time. So just give him a new character, give him a new identity to get him away from that whole Forgotten Sons look, and start him over.
Yeah.
I never want anybody to lose their job, especially someone who has shown some type of talent in the past, like Wesley Blake. Successful run in NXT as NXT Tag Team Champions with Murphy, along with Alexa Bliss at the time. This was like 5 years ago now. Crazy when you think about that.
Right.
But yeah, I see him in the next releases. I didn't ask you guys what you want. I asked you what you think, and I think it's WWE. If they can't think of something right off the bat, and even if their plan B for Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler was Knights of the Lone Wolf, you're gonna be lackeys to King Corbin. If that's the best they could do for a plan B, man, I don't even want to think about what's their plan C. I think he's gonna get.
You know what? I actually have hope for their plan C, because they never had to be in that position before. So let's see what the fuck y'all got. Step up to the plate, goddammit.
They've been in positions for plan C's many a times, especially over the last year. WWE news to go through, guys. So we talked about it last week, Miss Krssi Luv, but according to Fightful, I have a new report on my favorite WWE superstar now. Do you know who it is, Miss Krssi Luv? We talked about him last week. The biggest star on Monday Night Raw now.
He's not about to say it. He's not about to say it. You're not about to say bad fucking.
Yes!
You're not about to say bad fucking. I can't fucking deal with it.
That's why I didn't sign, because I knew he was gonna. I mean, like, I'm gonna just let you just be surprised and just like
his jerk ass reaction. I wasn't surprised.
According to Fightful, Bad Bunny held all 4 of the top WWE merchandise spots at one point last week, with his t-shirt
all sold out. Yep.
His t-shirt ranking first. It was third. It was first among all merchandise, third in women's merchandise, and fourth in youth merchandise.
Yeah, all of it is all gone. Every
His
genre of kids, adults, women, all of it. One particular T-shirt that had like the graphics is so good.
All right,
go.
great. So he's
His,
basically the Krssi 6ix9ine of fucking WWE right now. That's great.
Takashi 69
Great.
was never
Just
on
fantastic.
WWE and never had this type of drawing power. His pullover
Fantastic.
ranked second on the charts. The site reports that the merchandise hit $500,000 in sales to both Bad Bunny and WWE. Additionally, Fightful notes that the only other person in the top 5
This
was
for you,
Roman
Krssi. This for you,
Reigns.
Krssi.
Was Roman Reigns, but his
I
sales.
love Bad Bunny. I was a Bad Bunny fan before
I was
he
gonna
was on
let
the
him
show.
finish his fucking like 13-hour diatribe about Bad
Not a
Bunny.
13-hour diatribe. You talked more than me in this whole segment. But his sales did only around 65% of the sales of the fourth bestseller and less than 5% of the sales of the top seller. So what do you think about the huge draw that is Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is cool as fuck, bro. Like he is cool as fuck, yo. And the fact that you know when you cool and then you kind of do that, you solidify your coolness. When he did that dive at the Royal Rumble, it was like, all right, yo, he down. So he can not only like
He has
be
pyro
a
for
thug.
goodness
He
sakes.
can not only be a thug, but we know that he can lay it down when he needs to. So it's like believable when you know he can lay it down. Because if you can't lay it down, all that strutting and all that shit means nothing if you can't lay it down. It's like Conor McGregor that would come and strut to the fucking ring and he would get knocked out like he did literally a couple weeks ago. That strut means fucking nothing no more because you got knocked out. You got knocked out multiple times, brother. You better come walking normal next time. Because that shit don't mean nothing. Bad Bunny came in and held it down. Bad Bunny came through, got two dudes eliminated top rope, some shit that we would never try in our fucking lives. Bad Bunny is fucking cool. Bad Bunny is fucking cool. I like Bad Bunny.
He's a draw. He's a draw. Like he's an international superstar, and people are now watching that wasn't watching before.
And his entrance is fucking dope.
He has pyro friends. Like he has like it's
The
and it's a great like entrance.
And they make sure his entrance is in 8K.
He's a star. We found our next Pat McAfee, ladies and gentlemen. WWE President Nick Khan was even very happy about the Bad Bunny news. In a recent interview with Forbes, he said that the company is looking to forge relationships with music talent to cross over after the success of Bad Bunny, such as Miss Krssi Luv, your girl, Cardi B. Confirming WWE is talking to the rap artists. Now, Miss Krssi Luv, I know you were very passionate about Cardi B's recent Twitter exchange with Lacey Evans and being mentioned on Monday Night Raw. But what are your thoughts about a potential Cardi B and WWE relationship? And who do you want to see versus Cardi B in the WWE?
Oh boy! I mean, even if she doesn't even have to wrestle, she could just perform her new song. Like it don't need, like she could just come to WrestleMania. Like it's like draw her in that way, and then probably Ric Flair and Lacey are coming like do something real stupid. Who knows? But I think it would be fantastic. Just don't mess it up. They love WrestleMania was made for these purposes, to bring Hollywood and wrestling fans together. Any WrestleMania has had some type of star there. So if you can get Cardi B to come down there, I mean, she was at the Super Bowl, so she's clearly not scared of any type of COVID or anything like that. So, I mean, I'm sure she'll be there.
I mean, it's at the same stadium.
Yeah, see?
She's already in the vicinity. And then
she's already tested the waters.
Yeah.
And then our third and final note on music artists crossing over into wrestling. Wow, what a week.
Who was it?
Bow Wow tweeted.
Oh, I seen that foolishness.
After his next album, he will start training for the WWE, and he wants to win the tag team titles with Rey Mysterio.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They are going to do some stupidness. They are.
This actually led to a Twitter war between Bow Wow and our very own Retribution's T-Bar. what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the potential of Bow Wow being in the WWE top guy, JJ?
None. I'd be fucking damned if I hear "Let Me Hold You" doing fucking taking WWE
In
bump.
his defense, that was a great song. First of all, don't disrespect that song. Don't disrespect that song.
Bow Wow actually has some really good music. He does. Like his Wanted album to me is still my favorite album of his. Bow Wow's got some tunes. Stay the fuck out of the WWE world. Stay the fuck out of the WWE because you gotta wish to be there and talk about tag champs with Rey Mysterio. Whole ass shit. Better whole ass shit somewhere else. Talking about you want to come there and win. Man, please, man. I love the fact that we dream, but them dreams need to stay off Twitter sometimes. Like, get that, man. Hell no.
You know, his first album was dope for a 12-year-old. That's all I know.
I'm just saying. Wanted was fire. His Wanted album was fire.
WrestleVotes tweeted this week, full disclosure, I don't know where discussions stand at this point. However, I do know that several people, including some higher up personnel, have talked about having Finn Balor and the NXT Championship on the WrestleMania card this year, especially considering it's 2 nights. And the other note from WrestleVotes this week is they also reported that WWE had been against the idea to use cutouts for empty seats at WrestleMania prior to the Super Bowl, but now they are reconsidering and will be probably using the same formula. So, separate questions for the both of you. Miss Krssi Luv and Finn Balor in NXT Championship are on the WrestleMania card. Who do you want him to verse?
Ooh, okay. I don't know. So if Pete Dunne wins, can we have it reversed and have Pete Dunne go against Finn Balor at WrestleMania?
Well, if Pete Dunne wins, I mean, you can, of course,
yeah.
have
that's what I'm saying. To have the rematch, because what's their next pay-per-view after that?
I think you're thinking too hard here, and you might be giving away spoilers for your predictions for Vengeance Day. So just keep it to the question at hand. Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship at WrestleMania against who?
Karrion Kross.
I 100%, 1,000% agree. That is the match they should do. Top guy JJ, about you watched the Super Bowl. You're a football fan. You're the president of Titan Nation. Did you think the cutouts helped the perception of how the Super Bowl looked, and how do you think it will translate into WrestleMania?
The cutouts does give a look of a full arena. It does help when it's in like glance. So and it's all about visual presentation when it comes to that. And if they do the cutouts for a good cause, they should do the cutouts for a cause. Like do the cutouts for a cause like they did for the Super Bowl. You do $100 cutout, it goes to a charity, it goes to something that makes sense. Just don't make random cutouts of fanboys holding up one signs or holding up titles and it means nothing. Like at least make the cause mean something. But no, cutouts should. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I can't go against it. So the cutouts would be a decent look, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna throw some fans in there too.
Oh yeah, the fans.
No. I'm not saying that they're not going to use fans. It's for the empty seats.
For the empty seats, they're gonna fill it up. They're not gonna. WWE is not gonna go with an empty seat look at all.
They were. That's literally what I said.
They're not.
That was a plan originally.
WWE's not.
That was
they're writers. They're blocked. They're writers. They're not gonna. They see an idea. It looks good. They're not gonna let it slide. They're gonna use it.
Right. Well, obviously, but they were in fact going to do empty seats. That's just what the report says. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Cesaro has either signed or verbally agreed to a new deal with WWE as of a few weeks ago. In an interesting note, it was supposed to be Cesaro that ran through the gauntlet match a few weeks ago that turned out to be Shinsuke Nakamura. The idea had been for a star to turn babyface by winning most of the gauntlet, only to get screwed at the end. Daniel Bryan was the one who came up with the idea and pushed for it to be Cesaro. But since Cesaro had not already signed, that's why many think that Shinsuke Nakamura was chosen over him. Since Nakamura was a replacement, there isn't much of a plan to follow up with Cesaro. He's been told that his role is to make new stars. Interesting notes on Cesaro. And it should also be noted that Cesaro did turn babyface on SmackDown.
Just send him to Raw.
He did turn babyface on SmackDown by shaking hands or fist pumping.
Fist bump. That was a great match, by the way. We didn't get to talk about that, but that was actually a good match.
It was a good match. It was a good match. 4-minute matches cannot be great. It was a really good match, though.
It was a good match. Okay, fine, friend.
It was good for television.
Yeah, that's what I mean for SmackDown. God,
that's true.
Should be understanding Krssi language by this point.
No, I just want to reiterate that it was 4 minutes long, but it was great. It was a great 4 minutes. I can't deny that.
So Cesaro's whole new contract is to develop new stars. Just trade him to Raw.
He's gonna be making new stars on there too. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that University of Central Florida football player Parker Bordeaux has signed a developmental deal with the WWE. He quit football to focus on wrestling. Obviously, he didn't want to be a glorified slave in 2021. But moving on, was recently spotted with Eva Marie as they hosted a Royal Rumble viewing party, and this follows Paul Heyman endorsing him as the next big thing. And if you haven't seen him, he looks exactly like a young Brock Lesnar, 100%. SmackDown
looks like this kid.
I thought that was his kid.
Definitely looks like a seed.
Yeah, 100%. SmackDown drew 2.126 million viewers for last week's episode, while Raw for this week did 1.715 million. And AEW Dynamite, AEW news, we got to talk about a little bit more about the AEW Women's World Title Eliminator Tournament. Like we said before, it's going to take place on YouTube, on the All Elite Wrestling YouTube channel, starting this Monday, with the first round featuring 4 matches: Yuka Sakazaki versus Mei Saruko, Vinny versus Emi Sakura, Maki Ito, who is the greatest wrestler on Twitter ever. All I will say is that Jim Cornette made an inappropriate joke about Kenny Omega having a fetish for a Japanese woman, and Maki Ito owned him. She owned him on Twitter. It was great. Perfect.
Okay, got to go see it.
Maki Ito will be versing Rio Misanami, and Aja Kong will verse Rin Kodajiro. So, huge matches there. A lot of great talent from Stardom as well as Joshi Pro. So, definitely go out of your way to watch that Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the All Elite Wrestling YouTube channel. New Japan Pro Wrestling news, they had Rocky Romero spoke to Wrestling Perspective, and he said that he considers Jon Moxley to be the central piece of the AEW New Japan relationship. Guy JJ, who do you think is the central figure? Is it Jon Moxley, or like many fans think, is it Kenny Omega?
Can I say both? I mean,
no, you gotta choose one or the other.
It's hard to pick one without the other. They're so involved with each other's brands, and it's really, really difficult to cast aspersions on one without complimenting the other. Like, because Kenny Omega is severely involved, obviously, with New Japan with the background, but he's really doing his work with NWA right now. So, but Jon Moxley is doing his work. Sorry, I apologize. Impact. He's doing his work with Impact, and it's Moxley is doing the work with New Japan. So it's really Moxley's beef that's got the forbidden door open. So it's like I'm gonna go the route and say it's Jon Moxley. Yeah, absolutely. Like, 'cause John Moxley's feud is the one that's got this door open. But obviously, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers history, which are affiliations of Impact Wrestling, is going to have something to do with this. But yeah, Moxley. I'm going to go Moxley because Moxley's feud is the reason why this door is open.
Agreed. When Rocky said it, I was like, that is actually true.
Yeah. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's like why didn't anybody else say this before?
Right.
Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that New Japan Pro Wrestling, as we talked about on Tru Heel Heat 111, they signed the new deal with Roku Channel, which will televise their weekly television in the US, UK, and Canada. But they had also been talked with ESPN and Vice, other networks.
Vice.
The problem was that there was a lack of viewership numbers of the show when it was on Access, which meant the talks fall through. However, their deal with Roku isn't exclusive, so if the show succeeds and Roku provides access to viewership numbers, New Japan Pro Wrestling may be able to get a deal with a second network for different content. There was also interest from CBS Sports Network, but there wasn't any money offered, just an advertising split. CBS Sports Network also no longer subscribes to Nielsen. ROH News, ROH announced that Roosh will go one-on-one with Shane Taylor for the ROH World title on the February 27th episode, and they also announced that they signed Roosh and Dragon Lee to new deals, as well as signed their father, Bestial de King, to a new deal with the company. Impact Wrestling announces that they have a new weekly preview show ahead of Impact on Access TV called Before the Impact, hosted by sportscaster John Burton, Gia Miller, and Josh Matthews. And then our final news notes, MLW, the Filthy Island event next week on MLW Fusion is a takeoff of UFC's Fight Island. According to Dominic Gargano, he says that the UFC sold fans a pack of goods by making them think Fight Island would take place on a beach. Ultimately, the reality of Fight Island didn't resemble that. MLW reportedly communicated this idea to the talent, and MLW apparently wants to hold true to that tropical island and beach theme. So very interesting note there. And they also announced that Jacob Fatu will defend the MLW Heavyweight Championship against Jordan Oliver, and Los Parks will verse Contra Unit for the MLW Tag Team titles on the March 3rd episode of MLW Fusion. And then our final segment is our preview and predictions for this weekend's action. Of course, this weekend we also should mention that Bloodsports, Josh Barnett's Bloodsports, will return to Fight TV 2-day event this weekend, so definitely go out of your way to watch that. But we're going to be talking about the two other big shows for this weekend with Impact No Surrender. They're going to be on Saturday, February 13th. Huge card. We're only going to get predictions for the top matches, but you're also going to see Cody Deaner going one-on-one with Jake Something, the former Cousins Clash, going one-on-one in a grudge match. Hey, that's his name. He's Jake Something.
Make sure you get that person's name. Yeah, I think his name is like Jake something with an S, maybe something, right? Yeah. I love it though. I gotta love it.
Triple XL and Tennille Dashwood will verse Rosemary Black Taurus and Crazy Steve. Black Taurus making his Impact Plus.
Another name, Crazy Steve. When I read this on the agenda, I was like, yo, these names are amazing.
Gotta love it. Yeah. Another 6-man tag will take place with Deonna Purrazzo teaming up with Susan and Kimberly to verse Jordan Grace, Jazz, and ODB. You got the Knockouts Tag Team Championships Texas Tornado match. It's going to be the Knockouts Tag Team Champions of Fire and Flavor, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, defending the titles against Nevaeh and Havoc in a rematch from Hard to Kill. And then we got a very interesting matchup. It's called the Triple Threat Revolver match. This is going to start off with 3 individuals, and every time a person is pinned or submitted, a new individual will join the triple threat until there is one person remaining. So you're going to have Daivari versus Suicide versus Willie Mack versus Ace Austin versus Trey Miguel versus Chris Bay versus Josh Alexander versus Blake Christian, and the winner will get a shot at the X Division Championship. So Top Guy JJ, will start with you. Triple Threat Revolver. Who you got? Davari, Suicide, Mac, Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay, Josh Alexander, or Blake Christian?
I would love to go with Chris Bay, but it looks like they're literally leaning heavy in the direction of Ace Austin right now. So I'm gonna go Ace Austin with this one. It just feels like I'm gonna go in their direction and just join them and say Ace Austin.
Krssi Luv?
Chris Bay for the win.
I'm gonna agree for once with Top Guy JJ and say Ace Austin gets the victory. I really want to go for Trey Miguel, but I think that Sami Callihan might have something to say about that. We got tag team action. It's going to be Matt Cardona teaming up with Eddie Edwards to verse Matt Cardona's former Raw Tag Team Championship partner, Brian Myers and Hernandez. So who do you got in this one, Miss Krssi Luv? Cardona, a.k.a. the former Zack Ryder, and Eddie Edwards versus Brian Myers and Hernandez.
I got Edwards and Cardona for the win.
Top Guy JJ?
I guess we'll go with Cardona and Edwards. Like, fuck.
I was gonna go with Cardona and Edwards only because Myers and Hernandez weren't getting along, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cardona turned heel and joined up with Myers. That would be interesting.
It'd be nice if he signed somewhere.
He is basically booked to work the next couple of Impact tapings, but I don't know if he's been officially signed as of yet. X Division Championship matchup is going to be TJP going one-on-one with Rohit Raju, the former champion, who now has Shura in his corner. So the Desi Hit Squad has reunited. So Rohit Raju has an insurance policy in his corner on Saturday. But who wins? TJP versus Rohit. Who you got, Top Guy?
Rohit. I don't pick TJP for nothing.
It's Krssi Luv. Who you got?
Rohit for the win.
I want to pick Rohit because I don't like TJP myself, but I also like to be right a little bit more. So I'm gonna go with TJP for the win.
That's gonna make being wrong even worse.
No, well, Impact World Championship on the line. It's going to be Rich Swann defending against the birthday boy, Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is going to be celebrating his 50th birthday.
Oh my goodness.
It was Rich Swann who challenged Tommy Dreamer to this match.
Tommy Dreamer is only 50?
Good.
No
way. He made it to 50. Congrats, man. He made it to 50.
Now, a lot of people from ECW.
He made it to 50.
Rich Swann made this challenge to Tommy Dreamer, taking away from Tommy Dreamer's pretty bad win-loss record because he wants the opportunity to go one-on-one with one of his idols in the business, Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer wants the opportunity to get the Impact World title to kind of dictate where it's going in the future as far as their relationship with AEW. And this one, Miss Krssi Luv, Dreamer or Swann?
Dreamer, you can't lose on your birthday. It's a holiday.
So you think Dreamer wins the Impact World title?
Yeah, definitely, especially if he's on like a win-lose streak that's capping. I think that JJ's face says it all. He definitely doesn't agree with me.
Okay, JJ.
Krssi! What the hell? Tommy Dreamer don't win matches.
Okay, just like Rob Van Dam wins matches, though.
This ain't changing.
It's his birthday.
This ain't. I don't give a fuck if it's his birthday, his born day. It could be his son's birthday. He ain't winning.
It's okay.
Tommy Dreamer don't win matches.
Okay.
Krssi Luv picking all the birthday boys because Chris Bay's birthday is on
no, Tommy Dreamer. Man, this is Rich Swann gave him his birthday present by giving him the match.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
Kind of point. Good point. Shouts out to Tommy Dreamer. I got to chat with him on the Impact press pass. Great guy, and he enjoyed my dad's drawing of John Wayne. So that was good stuff.
Oh, cool.
So finally, I saved this one for last.
You never gave your answer.
Oh yeah, Swann, of course. I saved this one for last because this is the one that's getting everybody's interest. It's for the Impact World Tag Team titles are on the line as the Good Brothers will defend the titles in a three-way now against AEW's Private Party with Matt Hardy and Beer Guns, which is Chris Sabin and James Storm. three-way dance, one fall to the finish. Who walks out with the Impact World Tag Team titles? Impact versus AEW, or Impact versus AEW versus TNA, because I think you could consider Sabin and Storm TNA. What do you got in this one? I'll start us off, and I will say the Good Brothers get the victory because we are building towards Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks for all the gold. Who do you got, Krssi?
Good Brothers all the way. They can't lose yet. They just got them. They can't lose them yet. And yeah, the build up, the story. There's a never ending story that's gonna happen later on. So yes.
Top Guy JJ.
I'm gonna go different here.
Ooh.
I am gonna go with
Private
the
Party?
Young Bucks costing the Good Brothers the Impact World Championships by awarding that to was that beer guns. To beer guns, because they are going to remain in Impact, and this is going to make the Good Brothers and Young Bucks match be for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Ooh.
Stir the pot a little bit more.
I guess like JJ was like, you know what? Since I said I'm never wrong, I want to be wrong on this episode. So let's see how that prediction works out for you. And then on Sunday,
the Young Bucks got to be a little bit friendly. They got to come on. Can y'all step into an Impact zone?
I doubt they show up at this show. That's just a hunch I have. NXT Takeover Vengeance Day is on.
Name sucks. Sorry.
When you had St. Valentine's Day Massacre just waiting there for you to pick it, you didn't pick it. So we got 5 matches on this card, a typical takeover card, but man, this is a stacked card, 100%.
Within a week.
Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. It's going to be MSK, as I like to say, marijuana smoking kids versus grizzled young veterans. These two teams have fought hard, getting victories. Of course, we talked about MSK defeating Legado del Fantasma to get their spot in the finals. GYV getting the victory over Ciampa and Thatcher to get their spot in the finals. So who wins? MSK versus GYV. Let's start with Top Guy JJ.
Oh, Apps, come on! I picked the grizzled young veterans to win this whole tournament to begin with.
Did.
So I'm not going against my guns now. It's time for the grizzled young veterans, baby, to make that jump. It's let's go. You know, everybody needs to know who the fuck Zach Gibson is. So we need Zach Gibson on weekly television.
Krssi?
I'm gonna go opposite and say MSK.
And I am going to agree with Miss Krssi Luv. MSK for the victory.
Like make them coming over for a reason. They have to win something. They can't get the tag titles yet, but it gotta be meaningful. Let them cross over.
They just got to the goddamn
tournament
company.
To make somebody. They need to use this tournament to make a new team.
Who won last year?
The Broserweights.
Okay. Yeah.
They just got to the damn company. How the hell they gonna win the whole cup in the first? They just got there.
Hey, it creates
their achievement.
It creates a better story for grizzled young veterans. They can become the first team to go to 3 straight finals.
I love that this is reported because when you're both wrong, you're both gonna be wrong.
Okay.
And then you're both gonna take your fucking shoes off because you're gonna both hate Zach Gibson.
Let's see if that works out for you. Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. We got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Dakota Kai and Raquel got their opportunity in this one by defeating Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea, and then they moved on and got the victory over Casey and Kaden. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defeated Cora Jade and Priscilla Kelly. I don't know her WWE name. I'm sorry. And this week on NXT, they defeated Candice and Indy. So now we have the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Cup Finals here, and the winner gets a shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team titles.
I'm like, why did they do that?
Oh, that was smart. They had to get something besides a trophy.
I mean, yes, but I'm surprised. Why don't we have an NXT one?
Why? That's too many titles. It's too many titles.
Okay.
Too many titles. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Miss Krssi Luv, who you got?
We got the men's tag titles, but that's too many. Not too many titles. Right?
There's women's tag titles.
There's one. It's
But
just
they go
one.
to all three brands.
That's
That's
stupid.
what makes
Whatever.
them important.
There ain't nobody in NXT gonna win them damn things.
You don't know that. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. My answer.
She ain't with the shits.
I want. I'm not with
the shits.
I really, really, really would love to see Chauncey and Ember win. I would love to, but I don't think they're gonna win. So I'm gonna pick Gonzalez and Kai.
What do you got, Top Guy JJ?
That is exactly why Shotzi and Ember are gonna win, because they're gonna stick it to SP3. Because Ember Moon is gonna get a shot at the women's tag team championships
And lose.
Shotzi Blackheart is gonna pull off an upset and beat Dakota Kai, because Raquel Gonzalez ain't taking an L to none of these chicks. It is gonna be Dakota Kai that takes this fall.
Okay.
I originally went with Dakota and Raquel to win this entire tournament. I thought that this was going to continue Gonzalez's strong push. But at the time, Charlotte Flair and Asuka were our women's tag team champions. Now that Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler are our women's tag team champions, I have to go, unfortunately,
faces,
with Shotzi
Blackheart,
Blackheart, who I love, and Ember Moon, who
Ember Moon. He's got a big Ember Moon.
That makes sense. You're right. There has to be the baby faces to win. It can't be bullies against bullies. Damn it.
I just love that SP pick Ember Moon.
Back?
Yeah, you can take your pick back.
Okay, so yeah, Ember, because that's why I really want to win anyway. But you know, I'm going like the other way.
I just love that SP picked Ember Moon.
NXT Women's Championship matchup, triple threat, is going to be Io Shirai defending against Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. Toni Storm staked her claim to the women's tag team title. The women's championship, because she has defeated Io Shirai in the past, while Io hasn't defeated her, with Storm beating Shirai in the finals of the Mae Young Classic in 2018, while Mercedes Martinez made her return to NXT by attacking the champion. So who do you have in this triple threat match, Miss Krssi Luv, Shirai, Mercedes, or Storm?
Miss Storm for the win. Please let Miss Storm win. I want Miss Storm to win. It is about her. She's on fire right now. Other ones could pack it up. Let Miss Storm win, please.
Sheesh. Top Guy JJ?
I would love if Toni Storm would win. Like, it would be so awesome if Toni Storm's win. But when it's WrestleMania season, NXT champion is the most relevant thing in that brand. Io Shirai has got to carry that into Mania. I'm going with Io Shirai to retain.
It just doesn't feel like the right time for Toni Storm or Mercedes Martinez. You say Toni Storm is hot, but I feel like she has no momentum. She didn't win a match to get this title shot. Neither did Mercedes Martinez, for that matter. So neither one of these women feel hot enough to beat Io Shirai, who is the best women's wrestler on the NXT roster.
To be honest, I think the whole triple threat match is very pointless. Like, you didn't ask me that question, so I didn't get the answer.
I think they made the triple threat because neither one of them are hot enough to have a singles match. Even though both would have a great singles match with Shirai. Don't get me wrong. But the booking have not supported either one of them getting a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship.
Makes sense. Okay, I can agree with that. Definitely can. I guess. All right, I'll take Io Shirai, guys. Fine. Go ahead.
North American Championship is on the line. This one is, in my opinion, going to be the match of the night. It's going to be Johnny Gargano defending the North American Championship against Kushida. These two men have faced off a couple of times, with Kushida getting victories over Gargano in tag team competition. He then kicked Gargano's arm 2 weeks ago, which caused Johnny to have a broken arm, which was so bad that he had to be in a wheelchair. And we know how much Johnny hates wheels, so it had to be a serious injury if he was in a wheelchair. So yes, but we are going to get the matchup: Gargano versus Kushida. I will go first. I have been begging for this to happen. Kushida get a showcase match at a takeover. I'm not going to count the Velveteen Dream match because that was the worst match on the card, even though it was a good match. This match might steal the show. It might be one of the better NXT matches of the whole entire year. If they get time, I am going with Kushida to become our new North American champion. Who you got, Miss Krssi Luv?
Can we just first say how Johnny Gargano sold the broken arm that wasn't even broken, and that he's like, "Yeah, guys, I'm okay. Give me a mic." Like it was all gold. It was really, really hilarious. I love that segment of him like getting to the ring and them doing all that stuff. Anywho, I definitely think that this is a contender for a match of the night, and I want Kushida to win. Make him come over for a reason. He's been there for how long? Like let him get this win. He needs this win. He needs this. He needs this.
Agreed. Top guy JJ.
We all, I believe, have been in agreement of hoping that NXT does something right with Kushida. And I think this is going to be the time where the WWE lets us down yet again. I believe Johnny Gargano is going to hook, line, and sinker win this match on some bullshit. Like this is going to be like one of those really good matches that has a whack ending because WWE just knows how to do. They just know how to do this to us. They really know how to ruin something that is just so easy to make happen. It's just so easy just to have them have a classic and have a winner. But no, they got to get in their own way. So I'm gonna go with Johnny Gargano winning and retaining his North American title, but not in a clean fashion at all.
And then finally, we have the main event of the evening. This is a dream match for any of our UK fans out there. It is going to be Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne has been waiting in line for a shot at the NXT Championship for a number of weeks now, but he finally took center stage in challenging Finn Balor, which led to him snapping his fingers a couple of weeks ago. The match was made official 2 weeks ago, and now we are at here, a dream match for so many European fans for over the past decade. You have the one of the longest reigning champions of the modern era in Pete Dunne and his historic UK title run. You have one of the longest NXT champions in history with Finn Balor, but two of the best that the UK has offered in professional wrestling in the past decade. Who you got? Balor versus Dunne. Top guy JJ.
I'm going to go with Finn Balor to retain because I don't think it's the right time to take the title off of Finn Balor yet. I think that he is the big name that needs to represent this title going into WrestleMania. Like, it's kind of like you have to book for WrestleMania thinking, and I don't think that is the right time to have Pete Dunne, as great as he is, to represent the brand going into their biggest show of the year. It has to be Finn Balor, and obviously, as Krssi alluded to with the perfect opponent, there is no better opponent for that champion than obviously Karrion Kross, but it can't be Pete Dunne. It's just not at this time. This should not be Pete Dunne.
Krssi?
Definitely my boo, Mr. Finn Balor. Even though I love Pete Dunne. Oh my God.
Yeah, I hate that because it's going to be a fantastic match.
These are two of like my boos to going against each other. You know, it's like, oh God. Just hopefully Finn doesn't get injured in this match and get he's been getting injured in all the other matches. But yes, definitely Finn for the win, and he's gonna go see Karrion Kross at WrestleMania because Karrion wants his title back that he never lost.
It is unanimous. I am going with Finn Balor to get the victory, but this is another one that could very much be an NXT Match of the Year candidate for sure.
Yeah.
So yes, that is all for this edition of Tru Heel Heat. Take a look at our lineup on our YouTube channel. We got two great interviews for Tru Heel's BTR Between the Ropes. We have one with Holodead, which is very insightful. We talk about her relationship and her partnership with Thunder Rosa, her matchup at Mission Pro Wrestling Wishes Granted, which was over last weekend, which was an absolute fabulous show. Want to give it up to everyone at Mission Pro for that great show that they have. But Holiday talked about her match with Genocide, as well as who she thinks is the best true heel in the business today. Masha Slamovich had a great interview with us as well. We talked about her career, her big match at Mission Pro Wrestling, as well as how growing up in New York prepared her for being a traveling pro wrestler. But we also got latest episodes of Richie's Raw Recap, Wednesday Night Warriors, AE Recap, Dark Power, Blunt Impact, Review of Honor, 2 episodes of J News Japan, as well as a very new True Rewind. So check all of those out. And we also got coming up on the lineup this coming weekend, the latest from AE Recap, Wednesday Night Warriors, Dark Power. We also got another J News Japan coming up as well, so check all of those out. And we, speaking of J News, me, J News, Stat King, as well as Tempest from Wrestle Talk will be around the pay-per-view roundtable reviewing the New Beginning in Hiroshima 2-night event. So check that out on our YouTube channel, as well as check out Sports Kita's YouTube channel, as I'm going to be on Smack Talk, their SmackDown post show with Rick Ucchino, Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 a.m. BST. If you're watching this on a Saturday, where we usually drop our Tru Heel Heat, or past that, you can check it out. It's on demand on Sports Kita's Wrestling's YouTube channel. You can also find me every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, at 5 p.m. BST on Powered 4 TV's YouTube channel with Powered 4 SP3, along with John Scott. And like I said at the top of the show, if you want 50% off your first month on Powered 4 TV, use the promo code SP3, and you can check me out on Wrestling Daily every single Wednesday. Check out this past week's episode with me and Alex McCarthy debating wrestling's greatest couples in honor of Valentine's Day. So check that out for sure. Miss Krssi Luv, tell the 5 people where they can find you.
Well, first of all, my fine, beautiful shirt, as you all can see, it is like amazing. It is from Storyline T. That is with the guys Nathan and the boys at the 2020 podcast. This is their T-shirt that I got, and I love it. It's actually better looking in person, guys. The pictures don't do it justice at all. But that.
Oh no, but you're doing it very much justice.
I mean, well, thank you, friend. I mean, thanks. Other than that, you can find me. I am on IG, Twitter, and on Facebook. It is Krssi Luv _ Miss the Sensation, Miss Krssi Luv, and just Crystal Lynch.
Awesome, Top Guy JJ.
All right, Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _ Top Guy JJ. At Facebook, I am simply Justin Johnson. And yeah, it's been a nice one. It's been a nice one with you guys today.
Yep.
This was another great episode, so go out of your way and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. You can also follow our friends, Battle Club Pro, Mission Pro Wrestling, Warrior Wrestling, Wrestling Travel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, subscribe to Battle Club Pro, Warrior Wrestling, Mission Pro Wrestling, as well as our friends over at Wrestling Daily, as well as our good brothers up here on the YouTube channel, because they have their own. You got Jimmy Macaram reviewing the latest from TV, as well, including WandaVision, which I am on. We review WandaVision every single week.
Oh man,
incredible!
I'm so mad that it's like, I wish it was just like something we could watch over and over. I mean, watch it in order, but we gotta wait every week. But it's so good. Oh my god, it's so
good. Makes you wait. And then of course, my battery is dying with Marcus Cash and his weekend rants on everything he hated in professional wrestling. And of course, if you haven't already, you're watching this far, drop this a like on this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family. Of course, you can push the iCard to subscribe, the bell below that to press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. And thank you once again for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers. So go to our Twitter page, inbox us, make sure you let us know you're a subscriber, because you can be entered into the random drawing for our giveaway for the merchandise. And of course, you can also watch us on Powered 4 TV, as well as listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Anchor, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite audio podcasts. So, for our very special guest, AEW Dark's own Vert Vixen, who was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Awesome. Yeah. For the lovely, the beautiful Miss Krssi Luv. For our resident Tru Heel alcoholic returning to us, Top Guy JJ.
That mana, baby.
It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. Until Tru Heel Heat 113, this has been Tru Heel Heat 112. We are signing off until it's next time. It's over now. Oh!